What happens when two powerhouse voices take on a Bon Jovi classic? Well, Chris and Mitchell just gave us one of the most talked about battles of The Voice Australia 2025. Their performance of Bed of Roses wasn't just a duet, it felt like a full-on concert moment. Fans are buzzing, opinions are divided, and the reactions prove just how impactful this battle really was. But here's the real question. Who actually won the night? Stick around as we dive into what people are saying, because the audience is split and the comments reveal some surprising takes. Before we get into the reactions, if you're enjoying these breakdowns of The Voice Australia, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss any updates. And I want to hear from you. After watching Chris and Mitchell, who would you have chosen to move forward? Drop your thoughts below. When Chris and Mitchell stepped onto the stage, many felt the song choice was perfect. Bed of Roses gave both singers room to show off their unique styles. Some people felt it was the right fit, saying it allowed them to shine in different ways rather than competing for the same vocal space. For many, this battle was nothing short of breathtaking. Some described it as the best battle of the season so far, praising the way both singers handled such a powerful rock ballad. The harmonies, the emotion, and the stage presence made it feel less like a competition and more like a collaboration between two seasoned performers. But of course, battles always come with debate, and this one was no different. A lot of fans leaned toward Chris. Many pointed out his raw passion, emotional delivery, and the way he connected with the audience. Someone said that every note Chris sang felt heartfelt, and that kind of vulnerability really stood out. Others highlighted his consistency, calling him one of the strongest voices of the season. Some even said they were thankful the coaches gave Chris another chance, feeling he deserved to stay in the competition. A few mentioned that they've been rooting for him since the start, and this performance only confirmed their belief that he has what it takes to go far. For some, Chris wasn't just a standout in this battle, he was their favorite contestant of the entire season. On the other side, Mitchell won over a big part of the audience too. Many were impressed that he performed so effortlessly, even while sitting at the piano. Viewers highlighted his control, his dynamics, and especially the way his harmonies blended seamlessly. People pointed out that Mitchell has a kind of natural ease, making him look like he belongs on the stage already. One strong opinion that came up was that Mitchell clearly won this battle. Some argued his performance showed not just talent, but also maturity and range that could carry him far into the competition, no matter the genre. For those fans, this was the moment Mitchell proved he could be a frontrunner. And then there are the fans who simply couldn't decide. Many said both singers had beautiful moments, and it felt almost unfair to choose one over the other. Some described it as the kind of battle where both deserved to advance. One of those rare times where the show's format just doesn't seem to do justice to the talent on display. A few even joked, saying it should have been the grand final performance, not just a battle round. That tells you how high the audience's expectations were, and how well Chris and Mitchell delivered. Of course, no performance escapes without a little criticism. Some viewers felt the song, while iconic, might not have been the best choice for either singer. A few thought it was too rocky in places, maybe because of nerves, and some even felt neither artist fully reached their potential with this song. Others turned their frustration toward the show itself. Some fans argued that The Voice Australia has been struggling this season, with weaker song choices and questionable judge decisions. A few even went as far as calling it the most disappointing season in years, saying the format sacrifices great talent in battles like this. One viewer even mentioned that the judging panel seemed to lack spark, and that decisions sometimes feel more about the coaches than the singers. That led to another interesting debate, whether Chris was treated fairly. Some felt he had been pressured into joining a particular team earlier in the competition, which might have put him at a disadvantage when it came to decisions like this. But it wasn't all serious criticism. Fans also had some fun with the performance. Some people were distracted by Ronan Keating's loud encouragement during the performance, joking that he should have let the singers just do their thing. Others laughed about how passionate the crowd was, cheering louder than usual, which added to the concert-like energy of the battle. And of course, there were plenty of celebratory messages, fans cheering with "wow," "amazing," and they nailed it. Even among disagreements, most people agreed on one thing: this was one of the most exciting performances of the night. So what can we take away from Chris and Mitchell's battle? Well, it's clear that both artists left a mark. Chris brought heart, passion, and connection, while Mitchell impressed with his control, ease, and harmonies. Some believe Chris should have been saved, others argue Mitchell clearly took the win, and many feel both deserve to stay in the competition. But one thing is certain, this battle reminded everyone why we watch The Voice. It's not just about competition, it's about those rare musical moments that get people talking, debating, and even re-watching. Whether you think Chris stole the spotlight or Mitchell owned the stage, fans agree this was a battle worth remembering. Now it's your turn. Who do you think won this showdown? Was it Chris with his emotional delivery or Mitchell with his effortless control? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more reactions and breakdowns from The Voice Australia 2025. Chris and Mitchell's battle on The Voice Australia 2025 has left fans buzzing with excitement, but also with a lot of questions, doubts, and even frustrations. From song choice to judging decisions, and from Chris's future to Mitchell's effortless performance, people are debating every detail. A lot of people asked whether this was truly the best song for both Chris and Mitchell. Some felt it was perfect, saying Bon Jovi gave both singers room to shine, but others weren't convinced, arguing that the song was a little rocky, maybe even outside of their natural styles. My opinion, this was a bold but risky pick. On one hand, it showcased their ability to handle a big rock ballad, but on the other, it didn't feel tailor-made for either singer. Mitchell carried it well with his effortless style, while Chris brought raw emotion, but I can see why some felt the song didn't fully capture their best sides. A slightly more modern ballad, or even a stripped-back acoustic track, might have let their vocals shine without competing with such a massive original. This was the most heated debate in the comments. Some fans were all in for Chris, praising his emotional delivery. Others were firmly in Mitchell's camp, saying his control and harmonies made him the clear winner. And then there were those who said both deserved to move forward. Here's how I see it. Technically, Mitchell had the edge. His performance was clean, his dynamics were controlled, and his harmonies were spot on. But emotionally, Chris connected in a way that stuck with people. That's why the audience is divided. Mitchell impressed with skill, Chris with heart. And honestly, both approaches are valid. If I were judging, I'd probably lean Mitchell for the technical side, but I'd still fight hard to keep Chris in the competition because of his emotional power. Some fans raised an interesting point, that Chris might have been at a disadvantage because of early decisions in the show. A few felt he was pressured into joining a team that wasn't the best fit for him, and that this created problems later, especially when facing someone like Mitchell in a battle. It's hard to say for sure, but I think there's some truth here. The Voice is designed for drama, and sometimes talented singers get pitted against each other too soon. Chris clearly has the talent to go far, and putting him against Mitchell this early felt like sacrificing one strong singer for the sake of a dramatic battle. Whether that's fair is up for debate, but I think many fans are right to question it. Some people noticed a few shaky moments, suggesting nerves might have crept in. And honestly, who wouldn't be nervous singing a Bon Jovi classic in front of millions? From what I saw, there were tiny rough spots, especially early on, but once both singers settled into the performance, they delivered. In fact, I think the slight nerves made Chris's performance more human and relatable. Mitchell, on the other hand, looked completely in control, which might just be part of his calm stage presence. Now, this was a big discussion in the comments. Some fans said this is one of the weakest seasons they've ever seen, with less impressive talent and questionable judging. Others disagreed, saying battles like Chris versus Mitchell proved the talent is still there. My take: this season may not have the same star power as some past years, but talent is always subjective. The real issue, in my opinion, is song choice and coaching decisions. When you pit two strong voices against each other or give them songs that don't play to their strengths, it creates the impression that the season is weaker. But when battles like this one happen, it reminds us the raw talent is definitely there. It just needs to be showcased better. Many viewers asked this in frustration. They felt this was one of those rare battles where both contestants deserved to move forward. And I agree, sometimes the Voice format feels too harsh. When two singers deliver such a powerful performance, choosing one almost feels unfair. In fact, some fans said this performance should have been the grand final entertainment, not just a mid-season battle. That's how good it was. So yes, I think both could have been advanced, and it's moments like this that make fans question the structure of the show. Some audience members had fun pointing out Ronan Keating's enthusiastic cheering during the performance, joking that he should have let the singers focus. Others defended him, saying it added to the energy. Personally, I think Ronan's excitement comes from a good place. He wants to hype up his artists, but I also understand why people felt it was distracting. When two singers are pouring their hearts into a performance, less background noise lets the moment breathe. So maybe just a little less shouting next time, Ronan. One big suggestion from fans was that Mitchell could be the underdog to watch. watch. His ability to perform so effortlessly, his control at the piano, and his range all stood out. I think there's a lot of truth to that. Mitchell may not have been the most talked about contestant before this, but this battle put him on the map. If he keeps delivering performances like this, he could very well surprise everyone and make it to the final rounds. Several people mentioned that this battle was the only performance worth watching in the entire episode. Others even said the rest of the battles were forgettable by comparison. And honestly, I agree. Sometimes a single performance overshadows everything else. And Chris versus Mitchell had that effect. It had drama, emotion, and vocal fireworks. Even fans who criticized the season overall admitted this was the standout moment. Finally, a lot of viewers gave suggestions about how The Voice Australia could improve. They want better song choices, more balanced battles, and maybe even changes to the judging panel. Some felt the show leans too much on creating drama instead of showcasing talent. From my perspective, the solution is simple. Focus on the singers. Give them songs that fit. Avoid wasting talent by pairing two frontrunners too early, and let the performances speak for themselves. Battles like Chris and Mitchell's prove the talent is there. Now it's up to the show to let it shine. So those were the big questions and doubts fans had after Chris and Mitchell's battle. And honestly, I think the audience nailed it. Yes, the song choice sparked debate. Yes, the decision was controversial. But that's what makes moments like this so memorable. Chris gave us raw emotion. Mitchell gave us effortless control. Together, they created a battle that people won't forget anytime soon. Whether you think one clearly won or both deserve to move forward, the fact that fans are still debating it proves just how impactful the performance was. Now it's over to you. What's your take on these questions? Do you agree with the fans who said Mitchell won? Or do you side with those who believe Chris should have gone further? And what changes would you make to The Voice to make battles like this even better? Let me know down below, and don't forget to subscribe for more breakdowns and commentary from The Voice Australia 2025.